Welcome back to another drawing video. Today I'm going to be drawing Stitch from Lilo and Stitch. So let's get started. First going to start with his eye on an angle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make two guide points here. And then they're going to be added points. So I'm going to make a rounded or a curved line here. And then a curved line underneath. And we'll add a circle here for the highlight. And then around that shape, we're going to make another curved line that goes around. It's kind of pointed and then comes around and connects back to where we started. We'll give a little area that's kind of pointed here and then connect it around. All right, going outside of that shape that we just made, let's add his nose. So we'll kind of add a shape that curves up and around, more rounded at the top, and then pointed toward the bottom. And we'll add kind of a little teardrop shape inside of that for his nostril. Come around to the top again, and we're just going to kind of make some curved lines for some wrinkles on his face, and then bring a line around to shape his head. As we get toward here, we can kind of add some zigzag lines for hair on the top of his head, and we're going to continue this line around. And we'll stop about here. That's about even with almost the bottom of his eye. And from here, we're going to add a curved line that starts inside, bring it up, and stop here. I'm going to come back in here again and bring another line that curves up, kind of like a wavy line up and around, and indent it. And then bring it back around here. And we'll add another little detail line for this part of his ear. Okay, so up here we can actually now add his ear on the other side. So it's going to be kind of a wavy line to a point, and just bring it back toward the back of his head. All right, so underneath we're going to start from the nose, and I'm going to bring a line that continues around for the bottom shape of his head. We'll connect it back to the ear that's kind of more in the foreground. And let's start on his body. So a little line here for the back of his neck, and a rounded curved line for the back of his body. We'll do kind of a bump line here for his little tail, and then a curved line up and around for his leg. And now here we can make his foot. His foot is going to be a curved line around, and then kind of like a bumpy line for his toe. So 1, 2, and 3, and then we'll connect it back to his foot, and we can put kind of his indication of some foot pads, and then one larger one here. All right, so now from here we're going to make his arm that kind of comes down along here, and it's overlapped by this foot. So we're going to make this side of it, and we're going to make a little bump here. And then we can add kind of like a triangle shape for his claw or his toenail. And again, another triangle shape for another claw there. And some curved lines to indicate the actual toe. And then bring this back toward his hind foot. So from here, let's add another detail for his hind leg. It's just kind of a bump up and around. And then a little line here for his arm. All right, in the foreground here, or in the kind of the below his face, some zigzag lines for hair, bringing this back toward this arm, and then we'll extend another line down for the arm on the other side. And again, we don't see too much of that. It's kind of overlapped by a few things, so we'll make his claws down here, and then all we need to add now is his foot on the other side, so it's a curved line, and then just some bump lines going around. So 1, 2 here, and we'll bring this around underneath, kind of just stop it there at his claw, and we'll bring the other side of his foot up for another bump here. So now we'll just indicate some detail lines or shapes for his foot pads, and one larger one here. That is basically the whole drawing for Stitch. Let's add another line here for his eyebrow. Okay, so start filling in some color, I'm first going to start with the lightest color, and that's going to be a pink for the inside of his ear. And I'll just outline that first. And then I'll just start to fill in the color there. I'm going to open up the wider part of the marker to fill that in a little quicker. Still with the wider part, I'm still using that marker stroke that goes back and forth. Alright, so now I'm going to use a lighter blue first. So the lighter blue is going to be for this part of his body. The hair kind of on his body here is slightly lighter than the fur for the rest of his body. So filling in all this space, as well as the shape that goes around his eye. This is a slightly lighter blue. So again, if you're doing this in crayon, or if you only have one color blue, just do the lighter part with a little less pressure and you'll get a lighter blue. To make the blue a little darker, you can go over it a second time, adding another layer and kind of blending it in, and it'll just appear to be darker. Okay, I'm also going to do the lighter blue for his claws down here. I'm also going to make the his feet, this lighter blue color. Just going around his foot pads, because we'll come back and we'll add a darker color to that area. It's good to start with a lighter color first, so if you do kind of go out of the line a little, you can kind of just go over it with the darker color. Alright, so now I'm going to get into this slightly darker blue that I have. And I'll just start by outlining the area. So it's going to be basically all around the shape of his head and also his body. We're going to go around the nose. We'll come back to the nose to add a darker area to that. Okay, going around the eye. It's kind of giving this a double outline, so it's a little easier when I do fill in the color that I don't accidentally go out of the line. Okay, just a simple marker stroke here, back and forth to fill in this space. And the ear. Now I'm going to come down here and just give a quick outline to the body. And I'm going to fill in the rest of this with the thicker part of the marker. And for this I have a brush pen for this. So I'm just going to kind of go back and forth. The brush pen is not any different, it just has kind of a different tip on it. It's a little softer to kind of go back and forth, so it's a little less pressure when I'm filling in this space. It almost kind of feels like a paintbrush as I'm kind of filling it back and forth here. And I'm filling the rest of this head. Okay, the last thing I'm going to do is take a black marker and fill in his eyebrow. And then the space for his nose. And going around his highlight, and then the space for his eye. And then his foot pads down here, just a little detail to kind of differentiate the color, add a little bit more contrast. And that's going to be the drawing for Stitch. Hope you guys really enjoyed this one. It's a lot of fun. Give them a try. Bye.